Oh, goodness. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that my headphones were not plugged in. Um, well, obviously, we're doing the wake and bake with Skinny this morning, and we got a few guests. For starters, we got Mr. Frank Caferto right here. He's my bunny. He's really sweet. He likes kale, long walks on the beach. He likes to ravenously hump and rape plush animals. But he's a sweetheart. He loves his kale and his carrots, and he's a good bunsters. Yeah, he's a good bunny. Say hello, Mr. Furto. I'll put you down. And then, well, the one time she doesn't want to be around me is when I actually want to show her. But I was going to grab Nana. Yeah. And then we got her. Then we got the Nanas. She's too interested in Frank right now. They like to play. She doesn't chase them very often. I try to keep them from doing that. Uh, Normally, cats can get along with rabbits, but you just have to keep an eye on them because cats like to play by chasing, and rabbits do not like to be chased. They get really stressed out because rabbits are prey. They're not a predator, except unless you consider plants their prey. But rabbits don't prey on anything. They are prey. That's their whole thing. So they don't like to be chased. They don't actually like to be picked up. But Frank kind of lets me pick them up. I think it's because he knows I give him the kale. But anywho, ways, we're getting things started today. Uh, I forgot what kind this was, but we're going with some high terp sugar. That stuff looks like earwax. I'll never stop thinking about earwax I mean, look at that. I don't know if it can focus on it or not, but doesn't that look like earwax to you? It looks like it to me. Maybe I should start smoking my earwax. That would be pretty cool. World seems to be going crazy though. I don't know if anybody's really kept up with everything, but it's kind of weird. As always, the politicians are changing the definitions of words that they don't like being used because they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. So now they're trying to redefine what a cookie jar is so they can say that their hand technically wasn't in it. It was a cookie apparatus. Uh, in referring to that, I don't know if you know, but I'm talking about uh, the recession going on in the United States right now. And for whatever reason, every politician on the left seems to think we're dumb enough to believe them when they say that we're not, despite all of the evidence saying that we are. I mean, by the definition of a recession, we are in it. I think it is 2 quarters with negative growth, meaning we lost for 2 quarters, and that's what happened, and that's what a recession is defined as being. Um, I'm just sick of being lied to. This isn't a left or right issue. I'm just sick and tired of being lied to constantly, being treated like a fucking idiot. It's making me sick to my stomach. We are in a recession. Our economy is in the fucking toilet. I don't care what any official has to say about it. All I have to do is walk outside my front door, go down the street, look at the price of gas, and then go inside the gas station, look at the price of all the food and shit. And then I can take a trip down to fucking Fred Meyer's and look at how much more expensive milk and bread and everything else is. And I can sit there and say, something's fucked up. Our dollar isn't worth as much. We are in a recession. And I don't know what they're talking about with job growth, but there has been absolutely no job growth whatsoever. Um, there has been a huge problem with unemployment because nobody wants to work right now. I mean, I keep hearing about job growth and unemployment being down, but every day I'm seeing more and more help wanted signs being put up. So either these jobs just miraculously have found an infinite surplus of money and can hire as many fucking people as they wish, which, as somebody who's worked in retail and in a management position, I know that's bullshit. Retailers barely give you the hours to cover the store. Um, they will do their best to have you running on fumes so that way they can get all that extra money for their bonus that they saved. The money that the retail workers don't get, by the way, this is all just corporate money. They screw you so they can get paid, but you don't get a kickback from it at all. Uh, well, correction. When I was working at Big Lots, I did get a share of the bonus. I got a share of $35. At the time, it was enough to fill up the tank in my car, so I'm not knocking the $35, but I am knocking the fact that that company saw record profits, triple or quadruple. I'll let my damn thing go because I was ranting. And they didn't give a stick. At one point, since we were essential workers, they actually did tell us, or they gave us, I think it was either a $1 or a $2 raise, which lasted all of 2 months through the pandemic because after that 2 months, they said they were taking the raise away. Even though the rest of the nation was still in a pandemic, there were still lockdowns, and they were seeing triple, if not quadruple, record breaking profits. They decided that they were going to take our raise away because I guess we weren't essential enough, which that really irritated me too. Because during the height of COVID, back in 2020, I got to watch every other person I know be paid to not go into work. In fact, unemployment was paying most of them more than what they were actually making. Meanwhile, I didn't qualify for unemployment, and I had a quote unquote essential job as a retail worker, which mean I got that raise temporarily, but beyond that, uh, being an essential worker when everybody else was closed meant that I had to work 4 times harder because our business, we were doing 4 times as much business because everybody else was closed. And during this time, they were giving out all the COVID checks, and I was working at Big Lots, so you can imagine that we had a lot of people coming in buying their apocalypse couches, is what we started to call it after a while because, even in the store, we weren't really worried about COVID, but we were a bit befuddled that the world is acting like it's ending, but everybody just wants to go out and buy a new couch. It didn't make a lot of sense to us. That was a good dab. I'm still learning and getting the hang of these things because there's a lot of trial and error of smoking weed like this. Because I don't have any temperature gauge, but I got to get this thing to a certain temp. But excuse me, I'm sorry. But anyways, I'll be back in 1 second. I've been sitting here and talking and forgot that in the 10 minutes I've been sitting here, I've had my coffee like way on the other side of the room. that I brewed just for this. I got my Batman cup. So one thing I miss about actually working at Big Lots is I like the stores like that because they always have the best coffee cups. And when mean best, I don't mean like he's the best ceramic or any of that nonsense. But they always have the coolest designs for coffee cups. I want to say Kohl's and Big Lots are my two favorite places to go shop for coffee cups because they're cheap and they usually have a lot of stuff that you don't normally see. Uh, like I've got a Wonder Woman cup. I've got a Flash cup. I got a couple of Batman cups. Um, I've got a Shroot Farms cup. That one didn't come from Big Lots. That one was actually sent to me by a friend who knows I love coffee. Uh, that's Joey T in Canada. He's going through some really rough times right now. I really hate Canada. Can I can I say that? I don't hate Canadians. I really like Canadians, or most of them at least. Not the bootlickers. Y'all can get fucked. But I hate the Canadian government so much. Far more than I hate my government. I just don't talk about it as much because it doesn't directly impact me. Though it does indirectly impact me. I know a lot of friends up there in the Great White North, and they're going through a lot of really hard times. Um, Joe being one of them. This dude's my best friend. Met him on Xbox Live a long time ago, like back in 2007 or 2008. And we've been best friends since. Uh, and he has some medical conditions. He has this thing. I don't. I'm not a medical expert, but he's told me the names of it and everything. But basically, his brain kind of swells and it causes a lot of neurological issues and everything. He can go into bouts of paralysis. He also has this issue with his digestion where I know other people who have had it, but he has to be very peculiar about what he eats because things like tomatoes, the small seeds, I guess they get stuck in his digestive tract and it causes all kinds of trouble. So he has to eat very specific foods too. And this guy looks like he walked out of Auschwitz because he's living with somebody who is neglecting to take care of him. In fact, they are doing things to harm him uh, because he has to get around in a wheelchair and stuff because he his legs work, but his body doesn't have the strength because of how poor his care is. And this is why I hate the Canadian government the most. Is because my friend up there is dying. He he has tried to get with the authorities numerous times. He has tried every avenue he can think of with their free health care and everything. And all he is trying to do is get out of the home that he's in, which he's been regularly posting pictures because he's not capable of cleaning and everything. He's fucking disabled. He's got a litany of fucking diseases, man. But he's a really good person. He's really nice. Like, even despite this illness, when he is able to go out, he will go out and ride around the neighborhood. And there's videos of him doing this. He'll go out and ride around the neighborhood and give away the groceries that people have gotten him that he can't eat because he wants to give it to somebody else. He wants to be a good person. So this is like 10 out of 10. Great person. He can't get any help from the cops. He can't get any health assistance. All he's trying to do is get into a new location. He can take care of himself better than being imprisoned with somebody who is actively abusing him. And he has been trying for years to get out and he cannot get out. And that's why I hate the Canadian government because they do not do anything for the people whatsoever. It's all completely self interest, as is most governments, but still, they're supposed to have the better health care and stuff, so what the fuck's going on? But, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's going dark. I'm just always angry at all the governments. Oh, hey! Phone just dinged. In case anybody's wondering, because there's been a few delays with Otis Stein number two as far as production and everything. So this is like breaking. Normally, I like to post an update on Kickstarter, but since I got this update while I was live, I'll go ahead and give anybody here who would like to know what that update is in case they got it. But I just got some news on the metal trading cards, uh, but they are on schedule to ship on the 5th. So, but yeah, because I had gotten the quote and I had paid him a few weeks ago and all that nonsense. And I hadn't heard from him after I approved everything, so I reached out to him the other day and I was like, hey, I'm not angry or anything, but I haven't heard anything. Do you guys have an ETA? So now we have an ETA. I should be getting the metal cards on the 3rd. Uh, Not the 3rd, the 5th. I'm getting the prints on the 3rd. So that should be on Wednesday. Today's the 1st, 2nd. Yeah, Wednesday. And I should get the metal trading cards by uh, probably the 9th. If they're shipping on the 5th, I'll probably get them by the 9th or the 10th. So that'll be pretty cool. Tony's got one of those cards. It's got some art that he did. I'm excited to see those. Though, since Tony's are a stretch goal, I have to go super cheap, so his cards are only one sided. But that's because nobody paid extra for them. They were a free bonus for everybody else. Uh, but yeah, fuck the Canadian government. I don't know why those people put up with it. Um, for once, I find myself in a weird position because I want to give kudos to Roe over there for doing all the coverage of the Freedom Convoy and all of that stuff. Um, I like seeing people do good things. So even if it's somebody that I don't necessarily, agree with 100%, if I see somebody actually change direction and start putting their energy into doing something better, that's something really that everybody should be encouraging. So, as far as I know, those guys are, there's nothing going on with them now. They're just doing the rebelling against the government thing, which makes me happy, because that's always a good thing. Uh, but I'm just glad to see a lot of different people over the years kind of realize what they are doing and starting to take corrective action. Uh, it's just really good. It's a shame that some folks decided to double down instead. I hope that eventually they see the light and just doing more positive things and, you know, doing more positive things, just trying to focus your energies on that. Focus your energies on things that grow. Don't bitch about the neighbor's yard all the fucking time. But speaking of growth, Otis Stein number 3 is coming in. I just got another inked page that came in yesterday. So we're still waiting on colors. And obviously, I did do that progress update on the Twitter there. And just to reiterate, I did fuck up because I'm an idiot. Um, I do not have 12 out of. I don't have 12 pages colored. I meant to say, I think I have 10. I don't know why I said 12 out of 32 have been inked, colored, and are ready to be lettered. But that was a mistake on my part. It's because I'm just a dummy sometimes. We're all dummies. I mean, shit. I sent my print order to my old address. I only updated my billing address. Thank God that I still got folks living out that way that were able to pick them up and get them shipped here. So I'm getting those on Wednesday. I got the tracking number and everything. Suck paying extra for shipping, but that's the mistake that I made. That wasn't the fault of the manufacturer. By the way, I didn't point it out, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but this is one of the shirts that we were selling on our merch shop. I've had this one for about a year and a half. It's starting to really fade too. I got some stuff on the back. I don't know if you can really see it that well, but I mean it's faded. I've had it for like a year and a half, but still pretty good shirt. I just threw one of the splash pages from issue 1 on the front and then put some stuff on the back. But that's on the. I don't know if I got this one. As I think we had a shop on Teespring too. And I don't remember. One of them let me do front and back on the t shirts, but the other one didn't. But I just kind of. Yeah, it is a cool shirt. It's a comfy shirt too. I got other ones. But we have a Redbubble shop. I don't know the link. Uh, but it's on there. We make a. I wanted to keep the prices low for the t-shirts, so like for each one, we only make like maybe $1 or $2. I think I sold 2 t-shirts. I think Dave and Septinov each bought a shirt because they were both asking. They were like, "When are you gonna do merch?" I was like, "I've had merch. I just don't talk about it because nobody bought it." Um, but they each bought a shirt, and I think I made $4 on it. So I don't make a ton of money on these, but if you want one, I put the prices down low enough. I think they're like $20, which that's about equal to a band shirt. So I don't mind. As long as it's within something that I've actually paid previously, I don't mind charging that much, even if it seems more. It's an indie book. If you want the cheap stuff with Superman and Batman on it, by all means, it's out there. But like, I got my Dale Gribble hat too, so I paid $34 for this damn hat. But that's because it has the special patch on there, the Mac patch, which isn't a real logo. It's just in there for the show. It used to be more orange, but I've worn the hell out of it. I love this hat. It's really comfortable. What was I getting to about it? Because it is Wake and Bake with Skinny. Oh, I was getting into issue 3. Yeah, things are coming along there. I think I just got page 16 in. So, and that's inks, that's not colors. So we're almost at the halfway point for being completely done with the book. I'm not going to do lettering until all the art is done. Because when I do lettering, I kind of like to just binge on it, you know? I like to just put on some really good music and then just go at it when all the pages are done. So as soon as I'm done with page 1, I just move on to page 2, and it allows me to keep a good groove going because I find if I letter a page like today and then I get in a new page and letter it next week, I don't feel like I'm in the same mindset, you know? I may have a different opinion of what looks good because I'm pretty indecisive. Uh, well, not indecisive, but I bounce back and forth a lot. Like sometimes I like fatter lines on the dialogue balloons. Sometimes I like thinner ones. Uh, I like things depending on my mood is the problem. So I like to stay in the same mood as I letter the whole book. I know it sounds weird as hell, but that's just how it works for me. I think maybe eventually, if I do well enough, I might just start getting somebody else to letter it, just so that way I can have more time to focus on other things. Yeah, man. Issue three. Yeah, I think Carlos sent in. Let me do a count real quick, and I can tell you how many pages he's inked so far. Yeah, he's inked 16 pages out of 32, so we're at the halfway point, pretty much. Uh, and out of that, 10 have been uh, colored. Because what Carlos does is he does a bare bones. He does a sketch and then he goes over and inks it, but he actually doesn't draw the panels or anything when he's inking or anything like that. Because then what he does is he'll scan it in, and then that's when he'll add in like all of these digital touch ups for like his backgrounds and everything like that. Because I'm not a stickler for backgrounds. I told him that after, the location of a scene is established, he doesn't have to worry about drawing all this bullshit in the background. I'm like, I don't care. That's not even the focus. The story isn't about these books on the shelf in the back. I don't want you to worry about drawing these books on the shelf a million times over. That's dumb. That's a waste of time and energy. Instead, you can just, you know, throw an action background on there. We do a lot of them with like the dots and stuff like that. I've noticed that I've seen that done a lot in manga as well. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, if I see stuff that I like, that I actually see a benefit, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to grab it and I'm going to use it. I'm not stealing necessarily, and I'm not trying to be manga. I see other ways and I like to use them. But yeah, I've almost caught up with the Eric Hawkins. I'll never catch up with Tonic Mole unless he dies. That went dark. But yeah, but also it's not so much even the time. It's that I don't want to burn Carlos out on it either. I want it to still be a fun job for him. I want him to still enjoy making pages because you know it happens with me. If I'm not having fun doing the work that I'm doing, it's going to be shitty work. So I want to try to maintain. I want to try to do things to make it as easy for him as possible. I still challenge him. I still give him really challenging shots to do. I still kind of throw things out there to take him out of his comfort zone a little bit. But I try to maintain. I don't want it to become monotonous. And the less time he's spending on backgrounds too, is the more time he can spend on the actual character details and everything, and actually do these really cool shots. I don't know how to pull them up here on the thing. I don't know. I'm on the Stream Labs. I was trying to be on Stream Yards, but for whatever reason, it was having issues picking up my camera. But yeah, and being on a deadline is important too. Right now, we're scheduled. We usually do 4 to 5 pages, uh, or 2 to 3 pages every week. So depending on how long it takes, because Carlos also has a job as well. He's a graphic designer, so he's not just sitting around working on these pages all the time either. We both are kind of doing the book in our spare time, and he's making money off of it too. Because obviously, he's getting in a. Honestly, I pretty much have him on payroll. I'm paying him regularly to churn out pages, and as soon as one issue's done, I keep paying him because I'm like, well, just go ahead and get started on the next one. Like we're constantly working in our spare time. Hopefully, I got my fingers crossed, but really hoping that when I work at it and I get enough out there, that I'll be in a position where I can quit my like day job and just do this full time. Because if I were making that kind of money to do that, which I'd probably have to make about maybe 60, 70 grand a year to do that and be comfortable. I don't want to be super rich. I just want to be comfortable, you know. I don't need a shit ton of stuff. I just need a few things to keep me happy. I'm pretty minimalist. I like going outside and camping and shit, so I can play with sticks. Um, but you know, I still have bills. Uh, but I'd like to be in a position to where I can quit my job and do this full time and be churning out all kinds of books because I've got a lineup of other artists that want to work with me and that I want to work with. I just don't have the uh, financial backing to actually make that happen right now. Right now, all the budget's coming out of, well, thankfully, uh, a lot of issue 3 was paid off through what we sold on issue 1. So thankfully, not as much is coming out of my pocket, but some of it still is. But as soon as we get into a position where we're getting enough backers and everything, and we're able to actually make some decent money, well, not, I don't want to say decent money. That makes it sound like the money we have made is indecent. Uh, where we can make more, so that way we can actually focus on the books more. Because if I were making enough um, to quit my full time job, I'd also be making enough to also bring on another one or two artists to do other series as well. And as those grow, and if they, catch on and people enjoy them, then I'll be able to do a couple more. And then I can actually grow something. I see a lot of these indie creators, and a lot of them are just, I think their focus is on the wrong thing. Like, they're not, I want to build a publishing company to an extent. Like, I even want to help some of my friends. I want to get to that point. I want to get to the point where I'm working where I'm able to do comics full time. And I can not only dedicate all my time to myself, but I want to be able to dedicate it to helping out other people that I know that are out there that are struggling. I want to help out guys like Michael Johnstone with Thrashers. It really just kind of bums me out that he has such an awesome book, but for whatever reason, it takes him like 2 or 3 campaigns, and even then, he barely gets funded on that second or third campaign. Meanwhile, I see shit that looks like it was drawn in MS Paint making, fucking 40 grand. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, it doesn't make me mad at people. I'm just looking at it and I'm like trying to figure out like what is he not doing? And what can I help him do those things? Because this guy really has his heart in it too. Like, I like people like that. People who are doing it just to do it. Like, we're not looking for fame or fortune or anything like that. We just want to have a really fun time and sell some comic books and maybe make a little money on the side to keep paying for those comics. That's pretty much what a majority of us want to do. It's just really hard because comics are expensive. But I'm incredibly thankful for the support I have received, especially with that Kickstarter, man. That still blows my mind. I still can't believe how well that did. With that not safe for work, that's one of the uh, proofs that I got of the tapestries that I was selling. But I decided not to go with this material, which is, I forgot what this material was called. But I ended up going with the Lycra, which is actually right there. I got the black light on too for whatever reason. But this one's actually lycra, and this one's more like the material that they make like yoga pants out of. So it's stretchy, it doesn't crease or wrinkle. This one has been hanging up, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but it still holds wrinkles. It's still a nice print, but it holds wrinkles like a woman holds a grudge. But yeah, we're getting there with our comics though. I mean, I don't see myself ever stopping. I'm going to keep at it until people either, you know, help me reach my goals or I just kill over and then everybody goes nuts because I'll be like Vincent van Gogh, except I won't cut my ear off. I'll just die and leave behind this huge stockpile of comics that nobody bought. Could you imagine that? Either way, they're going to get made. I don't know what else to talk about. Cat's been going nuts. She's got plenty of food and everything. She just really likes attention. I don't know what Frank's doing. Oh, Frank went back in his cage. He goes back in his cage. He gets frustrated with the cats. They don't follow him in there though. That's his like safe space. My bunny's an SJW. He needs a safe space. But yeah, issue 3 we're almost done with. We're getting close to being done enough with it to go ahead and launch. I'm probably going to do things a bit differently because I don't want to talk too much about it, but yeah, he died, but he never sold out to the man. Exactly, Tony. That's it. But I do have something in the works. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I have something going on for issue 3 that I'm really hoping is going to help boost my numbers even more than what the last issue did. Uh, I already actually have. I think I've posted it already. I don't know if you saw it, Tony, but I have shared out some of the art for the covers that I got. I ended up getting whiskey paint to do a naughty and nice cover, but it's actually a wraparound cover. And both of them are naughty and nice, but it's like the front cover is a shot of a new character that appears in this issue, Emma, and a ghostly Mary in an interrogation room, and then the wraparound, the backside is just same thing but reverse angle. So so you see a set of tits on one side, and then you turn the book over, and you got an extra bonus set of tits. What's better than 2 tits? 4. What's better than 4 tits? 6. Yeah, my favorite covers, honestly, are really I really like the one that Eric Kent did, the EC Comics throwback with Otis eating Frankfurto on the cover. That was honestly my favorite one. I have him working on another one right now for issue 3. I don't know what he's and by Eric, I don't mean Eric Hawkins in the chat. I mean Eric Kent. He's doing Psychotron with Doug Garrett. But Eric Kent's a really solid artist too. I have some stuff that Eric Hawkins did, which he did something wild for issue 2. It's going in the book. But he did like Otis holding his moonshine, walking through a field of marijuana, which I am very happy about. But yeah, for issue 3 so far, I have uh, some titty covers from Whiskey Paint. I have some good pin-up titty covers from Illustrator Monk. Carlos is doing his main cover, as well as his main back cover. and Eric Kent's working on something. I think that's well. I also have one from Jeff Lastly. He did, yeah, Jeff Lastly. There's so many Jeffs. $35 stickers win. Ah, as soon as possible. Actually, I did better than $30 stickers. They're somewhere over here. But I did, damn, they're not in there. I did stretch goal stickers, though, for these. So if you think about it, these are like $2,500 stickers. But yeah, everybody gets one of these too. I wanted to do like one of the Bigfoot silhouettes, but with Otis. Because Otis is fighting cryptids and stuff too. I probably should talk about that more when I'm talking to people, because some of them seem surprised when they're like, "Oh shit, I didn't know he was fighting a chupacabra in issue 2." But yeah, like Otis, the world he exists in, all the cryptids and shit are possible. Plus, there's going to be a lot of shit that I just make up thrown on top of it. I did do the colors for the backing board. You don't remember that? That was for the prints that I did for issue 1. Yeah, because that was the Otis Stein logo for the backing boards. I think. What colors did you do? Because I smoke a lot of weed too. Huh. I distinctly remember using. If you're who I think you are, I distinctly remember using your colors for that. But it didn't. It wasn't high enough stock to be a backer board though. That was the thing. I was hoping it would be because, like, when I ordered the prints, I ordered the thickest stock of paper that they offered because I was hoping it would be enough to act as like a custom backer board for the comics. Sadly, it wasn't. I wish there was somebody out there doing custom print backer boards. I haven't seen anything like that yet. That would be really awesome if Greco. Yeah, I use that for the backer boards. Well, not for the backer boards, but for those prints that I was trying to use as backer boards that didn't end up working out. So yeah, I did print your stuff. I print. I normally print everybody's stuff when they send me stuff. I find some way to throw it in there. That's work. That's effort. That's cool stuff to see. Yeah, I did use them. But yeah, I wanted to custom. But instead, like the prints were still the same size as the backer board, so you were able to like kind of slip them between on the back side. But I was thinking about it. I was like, you look at backer boards and it's always just plain white. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you had like your logo or something on the other side of that? Like some other way to tell what's in it without looking at the front? That's what I was thinking, but the prints ended up working out to where they are sized up the same as a backer board, so you can just slip them over on the other side. It's just they weren't thick enough to be rigid. But all the shops that I know of, the print shops, they don't do prints on backer boards, which would be really cool. I don't know why they don't do that. I think a lot of people would buy it if they did. I would. But instead, I poured my energies into stuff like the tapestries and stuff like that. That's some pretty cool stuff too. I like the tapestries more than the posters because They're easier to ship. They last longer, you know. They're not as fragile either, you know. Posters rip and tear pretty easy. And even though they are a little more expensive, you know, they're easier to take down and put up elsewhere, or if you need to take it down and put it in storage for a while because your wife is throwing a fucking shit fit about titties on the wall, then, you know, you can do that. And then you can bring it out later when you divorce that stupid bitch, and it'll still be good as new. The poster won't. I don't endorse divorcing, but I do endorse not marrying stuck up bitches who bitch about stupid things. Luckily, my wife is not one of those women. My wife actually really liked that. She was the one, because I ordered it as a proof. She is the one who's like, well, let's hang it up on the wall. Really like that. I was like, okay, we'll put it on the wall. I may sell it on eBay. I don't know. People go gaga over Keith Garvey art, and this is a one of a kind. Like, I'm not going to be printing another one like that, at least in this material. So, but yeah, I did. I did use your colors for that logo. I don't know what you're smoking, dude, but I need you to pass some of that over here. I'm sad though. I need to get another sticker from you. Um, because I sold that car that I had the. Because you actually did the sticker of the sexy kind of apocalyptic Janine in that. I think it was like a pink or a purple kind of foil reflective. But anyways, I sold the car that was on because it was shit. I think it was like a 2008 or something, but it wasn't in condition to make the trip from Alabama all the way up here to the Pacific Northwest, where weed is legal and there's not a shit ton of mosquitoes. I love it up here. I'm so happy. I mean, it rains as often here as it did in Mobile, so that's kind of a bummer. Cause I don't know, I like sun. Uh, it doesn't get as hot. Like they're having a heat wave right now, and I'm kind of laughing on the inside because the humidity's not as high here. It's not nearly as hot as it was in Alabama, and I did better in the cold than I thought I would. Like me being skinny and shit, you know, I thought I was a dead man. But no. Actually, I found that it's worse to deal with the cold in Alabama because it would bounce back and forth all the time. It would go from like being 40 degrees for a couple of days, and then out of nowhere, it'd be getting up to like 64 or something like that. Like, winter's really weird in the southeast, at least. Uh, it's really weird. It bounces around. And I find that's harder to deal with than a consistent cold. Consistent cold allows me the time to just adapt to it and get used to it, and then it just doesn't bother me as much. I found out here I ended up running around in like a t-shirt when it was 53 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not talking Celsius for any Canadians listening. Which I would never be caught dead in a t-shirt in 53 degrees in Alabama. That's unheard of. That's fucking freezing, dude. But I do go out to like I love the fact that like I don't know, the climate just seems better. It's not as hot. I can actually enjoy being outside because with that humid just swamp heat of Alabama, man, it's just you sweat so much. You could just go outside for like 10 minutes Take off your shirt, wring it out, you'll have like gallons of just sweat just pouring out of it. So it's good to be able to actually not sweat myself to death. Um, and it's good there's no mosquitoes, really. I mean, there's a few, but they're like itty bitty tiny things. They're not like the fucking war mosquitoes that we had. So I'm happy with that. There's no biting gnats, very little spiders. I don't think there's any really venomous snakes running around. I think occasionally maybe a rattler or something like that, maybe. But from what I understand, there's not a lot of venomous snakes or spiders out here. Uh, Not really a ton of bugs. There were a ton of bugs and scary shit in Alabama. Like, if you go walking in the woods, you would often run into like big ass webs of these. There's a lot of different names for them. Some people call them banana spiders. They're not, because banana spider is a real spider that's actually from, I think, Africa or South America. That's incredibly venomous, but it's very tiny. But they call them banana spiders, but they're actually silk golden orb weavers. But they have like these huge butts, but they're usually like black and yellow. But they can get like humongous. I'm talking like with their legs stretched out, I've seen them get like the size of a dinner plate. Like that's their legs. Like their body would still be like maybe like that big. But still, that's a big fucking spider. And these jokers would just have webs like in all the walking paths through the forests and the woods and everything. So you would constantly like anytime you went out in the woods in Alabama, the best practice would always be to immediately pick up a stick and just wave it in front of you if you're the first person in line. And that shit sucked. But there's a lot of spiders and shit here, so I'm a lot happier. And I find that the more I'm able to get out, the more I'm able to write. Yeah, I'm more zen when I'm writing now than I was then. I find that, you know, this environment has benefited me creatively and seems to have had a really good positive impact on things because a happy creator is a good creator, and being able to get out and get a lot of physical activity and everything like outside of my job, unlike in Alabama, it's a godsend. It's really good to get out. It's great for your mental health and your physical health. I mean, it's good all around. But I don't know why I don't tan very much. I've been out and I don't really tan beyond my shoulders at least. I've been trying to tan for like the past month, and that's why I was saying the last time about being aware Irish because I seem to just get whiter like when I go outside. I've been sitting out in the sun just fucking enjoying it for hours, just baking out there, and still not really tan at all, not even burned. So, which is kind of strange because I didn't wear any sunscreen. Uh, I know some people are like, "Oh, Skinny's one of those idiots," and I would say, "Yes, I am one of those idiots." I'm from the South. I mean, you get it if you were really. I mean, wearing sunscreen is good for most people, but like my skin is just it's built for that. Like it's hard to explain, but I went my whole childhood. I mean, you think my mom was always there to rub sunscreen on me when I was taking off my shirt running around in the woods and out in the sun and stuff as a kid? No. So, I'm a little bit more built for it than other people just because of things of where I grew up, I would say. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe there's like this fucking doctor or somebody being like, no, dude, the body doesn't work like that. You should probably wear sunscreen. I do wear sunscreen when like if I'm going out on a boat, out on the water, and I know I'll definitely put sunscreen on then because I didn't one time and I turned into a fucking lobster for 2 weeks. So no thank you. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna cut this off. I gotta start getting ready for work. Uh, go get ready, go get things started. But yeah, maybe I'll catch y'all tomorrow too. We'll see. Definitely not on Wednesday. I know I said I was gonna try to do this every weekday, but uh, it's not working out that way for this Wednesday. I'm having to go in for some extra time. But beyond that, I should be good to go for all the other mornings. So we shall see.